Alright guys, this is called Sandwiches for Mere Mortals. It uses 2 queens, and let's go with it. Watch, we'll just take a card, let's say this one. Take a look, you got it? Great. We'll leave it right there. Remember the queens are on top of the deck. Your card goes into the middle. So here's the trick. The 2 queens are going to try to go through the deck and find your card. Alright, let's see if this works. Watch the bottom queen, just a wave, disappears, and the top one disappears as well. Just like that. They don't go far though, they're actually trying to go through the deck and find your card. The snap, nothing happens yet, but if you just give it a wave, like that, your queens appear in between one selected card, and hopefully that card is your selection. Okay? So what happens to this is that when you do this move, okay, so I'm going to do exposed again, this is what's going to happen. Okay, so now you're here. What's going to happen is you're going to call the card out of the spread. Okay, just like that. Okay, so what's going to happen is, because I'm going to show it to you at this angle first and then the other angle. It might be kind of hard to do it vertically like this, but basically you're going to line up these 2 cards, the top and the selected card, and using your pinky as a guide, and then as you pull this card away to gesture about the 2 queens, these 2 cards are aligned together as one. Okay, so let's do it down here so you can see the full view. And don't worry, we're going to have a nice super practice section from the back so you can see how it operates. So remember, the thumb goes all the way over, spread the deck. It's very important that the spread is very thin. Okay, the thicker it is, it's going to be a little bit harder. Okay, so you show the card. I'm just going to do the switch really quick. You do the switch. Now, watch. So now, right now I'm calling the card. Okay, and then remember the pinky is acting as a gauge too to square up the card. Okay, and then now what's going to happen is this thumb, we're going to kind of close up the spread a little bit so the thumb can touch the second queen to lock the deck in place. Okay, and as a gesture, you pull out, and you see how the thumb can't move over anymore, so you can't really separate the card. Okay, so in a gesture, you go like this, the 2 queens, and the rest of the deck, and your card in the middle. And that's how you do it. One more tip. Let's go over it one more time to make sure the card is squared up with the single card. Thumb all the way over. When you do this move, so let's do it. So show the card, execute the switch, call the card. Here's the thing. If you look at my bottom fingers here, you see how they're basically curled all the way in? That way it also locks so my fingers can't fidget around and separate the double, okay? So that's very important. My fingers are all the way in. And from your view, you can actually see the pinky and the top card, and you can actually try to align the 2 cards together. And then you close up, square up. And even if there's a little break like this, what's happening is it's in the motion of gesturing like this, right? And so they won't be able to see it, all right? And then you'll use this thumb to kind of square everything up. And then you close it up, push the card in, and that is the control. And now you have their selection in a second from the top, and you're ready to go into the vanish. So let's get into that. Selection in the middle of the 2 queens, which they don't know about, okay? So pinky count, grab basically a break under 2 cards, okay? If I see you guys do this, I'm going to kill you. All right, so pinky count, get it? Now, here's the position in the blocking, okay? You pick up the queen in biddle grip, okay? So you're using your right arm as a blocking mechanism for the swivel that we're going to do, okay? So I'm going to take the right hand out of the picture, and we're going to has to be free, okay? And you see how my index finger is kind of like a bed for the card, okay? So this is how it looks like, okay? This is the grip you need to be in, okay? So pressure from the thumb and middle finger, pushing into the center, okay? Now, this is all about pressure and, you know, and all this stuff, and then this will take some time to learn, but it's fun. Okay, so basically your pinky is going to riffle down anywhere it wants, okay? And I'm just going to do it really fast for you, in speed for you, just to show you what's going on. Pinky goes in, you're going to pull out a card like this, and then the ring finger pushes down to swivel the card out like that, okay? And this is the swivel, and what's going to happen is you're going to steal that card into longitudinal palm, okay? Remember, this is Tenkai. Longitudinal is just 90 degrees over, okay? So let's get really into the swivel. So, fade there. Okay. All right. So here's the swivel. Slow down. And I recommend you guys buying By Forces Unseen. It's a book by Stephen Minch, Hermetic Press. And read it over. There's some tips in there that'll, help you along with this whole thing. And plus, everybody should have that book. So, pinky pulls down. What's going to happen is you're going to pull out the card not on the bottom here, but on the tip. So it's actually nice. I didn't cut my nails. My nails suck. But it'll be nice to actually, if you have nails here long, it's not going to probably work. You have to hit the tip. Okay? So pull down. What's going to happen is, remember, pressure here and here. Your pinky is just going to go in, and then the ring finger and pinky is going to extend like this, okay? And pull out a card. And see how the pinky basically pulls out as far as it can. You see how the pinky is straight? But the pinky pushes up a little bit because it's going to act as a pivot point. Okay, so when it's pushing up just a little bit, your ring finger is just going to push down this way. And you see how it's going to swivel around those two fingers. Okay, so let's do that again. So, remember, thumb and middle finger, you pull down, pull out the card with your pinky, ring finger pulls down and swivels around. Okay? One tip is to make sure not to think of this as two actions. Don't swivel too quick. I see a lot of people do this. They come out only this far and they swivel, and then what's going to happen is going to flash from this side here, from the thumb side here, because it's not far enough and it's going to do this. Okay? So make sure at first to pull out as far as you can and then swivel, and then you won't have this problem here, okay? And then once you get it down, it should be one quick motion like that, okay? So that's the swivel. So let's get into the steal and the vanish. All right, so now you got the swivel down. Here's the action both in play, okay? So remember, you have the double with the selection under the queen. You gesture as you say, the queens are going to find your card. And what's going to happen is this right hand is going to put this card out jogged and then steal the card and move back to this wrist here like this, okay? So in action, it looks like this, blah, blah, blah. You're going to say it, and as you put it on, that's when the swivel happens and you steal the card, okay? So let's do that without this card. So I'm going to show it to you like this. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to go, here's the card. Remember, the two queens are going to find your card, put it back on top. Thumb just rolls back and steals the card like this, and you rest. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. Okay, so let's do that in action again. So grab the queen with the selection, talk. La la la. I'm going to do it exposed basically. So it's going to be like this. Obviously this timing's off, but I'm showing you what's happening. Put the queen there, thumb rolls back, fingers extend, pull this way, and then relax. Okay? No palm. Okay? Two card selection here, okay? So what's going to happen is you're going to do this. You're going to wave, make the bottom queen disappear, and then make the top queen disappear, okay? So here's how to make the bottom queen disappear. Use your thumb and middle finger again to buckle the top two cards a little bit. This way, what's going to happen is when you buckle it, your index finger will be able to pull down that card. If you just have it straight, it's kind of hard to pull down, in my experience. So if you buckle it a little bit, you can be able to pull it down, okay? So once you have it pulled down, the right hand is basically going to go like this and wave. So without exposed, you're just pulling down and just pushing this card all the way back flush, like that, okay? So the first vanish is going to look like that. So right hand comes here, vanish. Now, in a continuous action, you're going to move this hand forward, okay? So what's going to happen is you move it forward, drop the card flush with the deck. And as you continue forward, your index finger comes forward and pushes this card in like this as this hand comes forward. And then you act the vanish, okay? So let's do it again. One tip on the vanish is do not do it too quick. If you do it too quick, the second vanish, what's going to happen is they'll see exposed. Remember, you're doing it for their perspective, okay? So here it is in full speed. So you do this, watch the bottom queen disappears, and then the top queen, just like that, disappears, okay? Now, just remember the action. Try to not move this hand, like don't flutter the hand too much, otherwise you'll kind of give away what's going on, even subtly, okay? So one more time in slow speed for you guys. 2 queens, steal the card, put that on top, thumb goes back, push the card slowly, belt buckle the card, push the card slowly, wipe, make it disappear, come forward, drop, push, reveal to vanish, like this. And that is the vanish. The scientific view of this is that when you have 2 cards and they're bold like this, you can see basically the cards are like this. This is, obviously exaggerated. So they're kind of like bold against each other. So there's no friction. So in theory, they ride together as a unit. Okay? So how do we use that to our advantage? When you cut it into the middle of the deck, when you spread the deck, pretend it's like an accordion. Okay? What's going to happen is a lot of people, when they spread, you're pushing cards like this, right? This is not how you do it. Pinky is on top of that packet. You're going to just ride this pinky over like this. You see how I'm levitating the deck in a sense, like pulling it over? This right hand basically pulls the deck out, and the left hand, watch the left hand, it just pulls the deck out this way, right? So what happens is these 2 cards stay in alignment, okay? So we'll try this again. Once again, this is a very knacky move, and it's pretty good. It's a nice feeling when you just hit it, okay? So, and it's kind of hard to do slow because there's a lot of friction in play. It's just an accordion type of thing, okay? And when you spread like this, you see how these 2 cards right here are doubles. And this acts as, a really nice way to do the reappearance, and it's just really nice and, flowy. So remember, the pinky pulls over like this, and you just drag out the 2 cards, and they stay aligned like that. So one more time. Remember, the thumb is just pull out, and then you just slide out the deck, and try to keep a very light touch to this, like that, you see. And then now I got 2 doubles, and then I'm able to do the reappearance. So that's